Terrence.
And I'm Zach.
And we're going to be interviewing Jerome Jeffrey Holmes III on his life and times at Desert Storm.
This segment is called Beast in the Middle East.
Alright, what's your name?
Jerome J. Holmes II.
Alright, what branch of military were you in?
The best, U.S. Marine Corps. Hoorah.
What rank?
Sergeant, E5.
Okay, what made you want to enlist?
I wanted a challenge out of life, so I wanted the hardest I could find.
What was basic training like?
Basic training was 13 weeks of pure HELL. Hardest 2-3 months of your life.
Where did you go after basic training?
First duty station was Camp Lejeune, North Carolina.
What was the hardest thing about basic training?
Everything about basic training was hard. I'd say the hardest part was swimming. Watching your buddies that you making friendships with sink when they can't swim and you can't help them.
What was the scariest moment of being in the military?
Scariest moment was when the Gulf War started, sitting out on the flight deck of a warship. You're 19, 20 years old, and every night you cry yourself to sleep because you ask yourself, is this going to be the last night I wake up?
You think the U.S. was in Desert Storm?
Everyone has different reasons why we were there. We're in the military. We do as we're told.
What is Desert Storm anyway?
Desert Storm was when the U.S. went to help Kuwait, who was invaded by Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Way before you guys were even born.
Did you have any close friends?
I have a lot of close friends in the military. Somewhat brothers.
What kind of weapons did you use?
One is just like this one right here. This is an AR-15, military SWAT. Law enforcement use these.
What kind of food did they give you?
You got food that's in the bag. The entire meal is in the bag. You cut it open, you add water, you stir, and you eat. Some of it was good, some of it was nasty.
What was your favorite?
Spaghetti, fruit cocktail, tuna casserole.
How many years were you in the Marines?
12 long years of playing G.I. Joe.
How many years were you in the Desert Storm?
8 months.
Did you have a certain job while in Desert Storm?
I was the battalion XO's driver. We were like his bodyguards.
Might as well just tell the tear gas story.
Tear gas story. Okay, when you go through boot camp, you have to go through the gas chamber. And for anyone that's ever watched TV and you see the rides and you see the cops that are throwing the tear gas out into the stands and people are running around crying and do all that, yeah, that stuff is like candy to us. When you go through boot camp, they'll put you in a room about the size of a trailer, a little smaller. The windows are blackened out. There's a huge 55-gallon drum sitting in there, and they are just dropping pellets after pellets after pellets after pellets into it. When you walk into the room, you have on your fatigues, you have on your gas mask, you stand up, and everything doesn't start until the last man comes in and that door closes. The door closes, that's when the fun and games begin. They'll have you do jumping jacks, bends and thrusts, running in place till you're nice and sweaty. Then they say, take off your mask. You take off your mask, you're in a room. For the very first people that walk in there, the smoke is so thick you can't even see anything in front of your face. You hold your breath. They'll tell you, when the last guy takes his mask off, that's when we'll start. They count, and they say, put your mask back on. You don and clear it, you go, and then you look around and see how many other people don't have theirs on. And if you're not gasping for air, you're laughing at the ones that are.
So when you were in Desert Storm, the objective was to protect Kuwait?
Every basic Marine is a rifleman. Whether you work in the chow hall as a cook, whether you work in the office on computers, whether you do supply. When war breaks out, every Marine is a basic rifleman. You pick up your weapon, you do as you're told, and you learn to locate, destroy the enemy.
Alright, did you get accepted to the Secret Service?
I applied for the Secret Service. I took the first part, the post test, and I passed. and they sent me an application to join. But I had to turn it down because I blew my knee out playing football.
I thought it was your hip.
No, I blew my knee out. I had a hole in my knee. When I played 1 year of semi-pro football, I was running in to try and block a punt, and the guy that I hit me. When he hit me, he hit my leg, and my leg went straight backwards. Yeah, it went all the way backwards. I stood up, took a step, put everything back in place, stepped with that leg and hit the ground, grabbed my leg, and I called my buddies, come get me because I can't walk. Eventually, I had a hole in my knee that was about the size of a cork, and the doctor told me eventually it would just get bigger and bigger and bigger till one day my kneecap would just fall right in.
So if you would apply, they would have...
I'd have never passed the physical. Asked a question about reloading, loading M16 AR-15s. Empty clip. AR-15, weapons on safe. You can tell by the safety block that's in it. You pull that out. This is to make sure there's no rounds in the chamber. We're going to leave that sitting up in there. That sends the bolt back home. Take this, put that in, tap, pull that back, put it back up, hit that button right there, boom, you're ready to rock and roll. When it runs loose, well, when it runs empty, that one drops up, pick another one up, hit the button, and you keep right on going.
Did you have to use your gun in war?
No. When I got to boot camp and I got off the footprints, I had a lot of guys around me. From Baltimore, I had 7, 8 other guys flew in the same day, same unit. We went to boot camp. Within a week, 3 of those guys was already in the plane going back home. One of those guys was all-star running back. Don't know what high school, but he was. He sprained his ankle the first week. Kept messing with the drill instructors. Drill instructors couldn't make him do jumping jacks or anything because he was on crutches. So he was like, I can do push-ups all day long. They put him to the test and made him do push-ups to try and break his little attitude and anything else. He didn't last.